So you had the chance to have full tuition paid for any degree that you wanted to do. And you chose to be a teacher? What? Hi guys. So that's a question I get every time I tell that story. I usually only tell that story to my students because I'm not here to brag. I just tell it to them because I want to inspire them and for them to know what is out there. So this is the first time I would have told it to the general public. And the question came up again. You have the chance, you have money in your hands to do any degree you want to do. You could become a lawyer, you could become a doctor, an engineer, especially because you don't have no money and you just got money to get a degree to make some money so that your family can have money, and you chose to become a poor, overworked, insignificant English teacher. Why? I get a lot. I'm used to it, and I knew it was coming from the moment I made the decision. First of all, when I went to the scholarship office to pick up and sign the contract to accept the scholarship, the ladies in the office asked me, "So what are you doing? What are you studying?" And I said, "I'm studying education." And they said, the scholarship allows you to pursue any degree that you want. Your full tuition is paid for. Any degree you want to pursue. I said, "Yes." She said, "And you sure you still want to do education?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Okay." And that was it. But you know what she meant. You know what she meant. I know what she meant. Education is the cheapest degree at UWI. I don't know anywhere else, but at my university, education was the cheapest degree that you could do. I mentioned in the previous video that my tuition was $252,000 per year. Somebody messaged me, somebody who also got the scholarship, and said that they went to med school. They said that their tuition was 2.8 million per year. My tuition wasn't even 2.8 million in total. So you can see the gap, you can see the contrast. And so the opportunity was there for me to do that, to do law. And in sixth form, I was headed in that direction of becoming a lawyer. I did Cape Law. But after my first year doing Cape Law, I realized I didn't love it. I didn't love the subject, and from what I heard about the profession, I didn't think I would love that either. Also, I wanted a simple life. I know it sounds corny, but I didn't want a hectic life that was going to take me away from the things that were important to me. I wanted to have time with my family. I wanted to have time for my health. I spent a lot of years in high school suffering from depression, and I knew I didn't want to go into a career where I thought I would be burnt out again, because high school was a whole burnout in itself. It was a very competitive high school environment, and I was the overachieving type. And besides that, there were other things in my personal life that affected me, and I just didn't. At that time, in sixth form, at the end of my high school life, what I wanted was joy. I wanted happiness, and teaching stood out to me for a number of reasons. One, I always wanted to be something, 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 and a teacher. I wanted to be a writer and a teacher. I wanted to be a chemical engineer and a teacher. I wanted to be a lawyer, legal consultant, and then a teacher. It was always that thing that I wanted to do at the end of my life. And I think many of my classmates wanted to do that, because in those circles, you either become a doctor, a lawyer, or an Indian chief. And the idea was that teaching is the way that you would give back to your community after you've made something of yourself. And so I had a lot of colleagues in school who also wanted to become teachers, but they wanted to become extra lessons teachers or lecturers after they had made their big money and done something with their life. But in sixth form, at that point, when I'd already gone through so many different changes in terms of what I wanted to be in life, and I finally landed on law, and then law landed on me, and I decided that that wasn't the direction to go. I had to make a new choice. So teacher came to me because I thought I always want to be something, 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 and then a teacher. Why not put the teaching first and then see what happens afterwards? And I mentioned it to my teachers, and I mentioned it to my principal, who said that if I went and studied education, I would be guaranteed a stable job at my alma mater. And I was like, great, that's awesome. So that's the number one reason. I wanted a simple life. Number two, it was always in the pipeline, so I figured, why not do it now? Law wasn't it for me. And the next thing is that at that point, my volunteer work, my preaching, my evangelism was becoming very important to me as well. And I wanted a job that was going to give me time for that. So to teach from 8 to 3 on a daily basis, well, 3 the latest, would give me time afterwards, I thought, to continue my preaching, my ministry with the Chinese population in Jamaica, and my volunteer work that at that point was very important to me. And that was what was bringing me joy and lighting my fire, and I wanted to be able to continue to do that. So that is how I ended up in teaching. I love it. Do I love the system I have to operate in? Not so much. But I love my students. I love having one-on-one interactions with my students. The money isn't amazing, but my needs are taken care of. I've never been in want as a teacher. I don't live luxuriously, but it takes care of my needs. So, do I think I made a mistake? I wouldn't call it that. Am I looking into different options and different ways of working my skill? Definitely. Am I concerned about the future of teaching in this changing global climate? Yes. But I don't think I made a bad choice, and I think I made it with good intention, and most importantly, I made it with God in the forefront. I knew that I wanted time to do what I needed to do for Him, and I also made it with the intention of finding my own inner joy and inner peace, and not thinking about what everybody else had to say and what everybody else wanted for me. I chose the life. I always say I chose the life I wanted, not the life that was set out for me. And I have never ever regretted that.